DC, get ready, because what I'm about to drop is gonna shake you. Our GM just made the most expensive mistake of his tenure, the biggest contract ever for that position. And it's dragging us down game after game. 2 crucial missed kicks, 6 straight losses, and 0 accountability. But that's not even the worst part. Our head coach is finally showing public frustration. And when a leader like that cracks, you know things are desperate. 5 blown leads in the 4th quarter. 5. And while everything's falling apart, there's a running back dominating that nobody's talking about. 5.3 yards per carry, and he's riding the bench. Smash that like button and subscribe, because this one can't wait. Let me tell you something I've been saying for weeks. Adam Peters made a massive mistake with Matt Gay, and now it's finally costing us games. Did y'all see what happened in Madrid? 2 missed kicks, TWO, and we're not talking 60-yard bombs. These were kicks any NFL kicker is expected to make. Now let me ask you this. How much are we paying Matt Gay? Let me jog your memory. Peters gave him the biggest 1-year deal ever for a kicker. And for what? So he can choke in the biggest moments of the season? That's unacceptable. Look, I get it. Peters wanted experience. Gay was a Pro Bowler. But here's the issue. This guy has a well-documented history of missing to the right. And what happened in Madrid? Both kicks went wide right. Wide right. Like we were watching a Colts rerun dot. So how many more times are we going to let this happen? Because let me tell you, when you're 3-8 and fighting for your dignity, you can't afford a kicker you don't trust in crunch time. And that's exactly what we've got. That final kick would have sealed the win. We were seconds away from snapping this brutal 6-game skid. The fans in Madrid were ready to celebrate. The team had battled all game. And then Gay steps up, kicks. And we all know how that story ends. But here's what really gets me. Peters is known for being ruthless with roster decisions. This is the same guy who cut vets, made bold trades, and rebuilt this team from the ground up. So why is he being so patient with Gay? Why haven't we brought in competition? Why haven't we looked at other options? I think Peters is stuck in what economists call the sunk cost fallacy. He paid Gay so much that now he feels like he has to make it work. But let me tell you something. That kind of thinking is what sinks organizations. Great G-Miz owned their mistakes and fixed them fast. Look at what the Ravens did with Justin Tucker this year. Tucker is a legend, the best kicker in NFL history. And when he started missing, what did they do? They brought in competition. They didn't cut him right away, but they sent a message. Nobody's job is safe. And what are we doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Gay comes out after the game, takes responsibility like a pro, and we all move on like this is normal. But it's not normal. When your kicker is costing you games, you've got to act out. Now some of y'all might say, we're 3-8. Who cares? And that's where I say, IT matters. Every loss from avoidable mistakes chips away at our culture. It tells young players that mistakes don't have consequences. It kills locker room trust. And let's talk money for a second. Gay is making more than kickers who are having monster seasons. Brandon Aubrey in Dallas is hitting from 60+ and making less than Gay. Jake Moody in San Fran had a rough start but bounced back, and he's making less than Gay. See the problem? Peters needs to make a move during this bye week. I know it's tough. I know it means admitting he messed up. But that's what real leaders do. They admit mistakes and fix them before it's too late. Because if Peters doesn't act now, this problem's gonna haunt us. We've got 6 games left. 6 chances to build something for next year. 6 chances to build a winning culture. And we can't waste those chances on a kicker who can't do his job. There are kickers out there. Veterans on the street. Practice squad guys who deserve a shot. And if none of them work out, at least we tried something instead of sticking with a plan that's clearly broken. And you know what's most frustrating? This was a totally avoidable problem. When the Colts cut Gay, they had reasons. It wasn't because they're dumb. It was because Gay had shown inconsistency, especially from deep. And we ignored all those red flags thinking we could fix him. Look, I respect Adam Peters. He's done an amazing job in a lot of areas. The draft, the trades, the rebuild, he's been impressive. But on this one, he blew it. And he needs to own it and fix it. Because when you're building a winning culture, every position matters. And kicker, whether folks like it or not, is one of the most important spots on the team. Ask the Bills about Scott Norwood. Ask the Vikings about Gary Anderson. Ask any team that's lost big games on missed kick stops. So what should Peters do? I'll tell you what I do. Bring in 2 or 3 kickers for tryouts during the bye. Give each of them 20 to 30 kicks from different spots. Whoever performs best, that's your kicker for the last 6 games. Simple. And Gay? Look, he's a good dude. A pro. But in this business, being a good guy isn't enough. You've got to produce. And right now, Gay's not producing when we need him most. If that shocked you, wait till you hear this. Dan Quinn is finally showing public frustration, and that's something we've never seen from him. After the Madrid game, Quinn kept it real. We had a chance to win and didn't get it done. And let me tell you, when a coach is composed as Quinn starts showing cracks, things are really bad. I've seen y'all in the comments defending Quinn, and you're right. He's not the problem. But now I gotta ask, how long can a coach keep it together when his players keep making the same mistakes over and over? Quinn talked about winning time moments and missed chances. And that's exactly what we've seen in these 6 straight losses. We're not losing because we're the worst team in the league. We're losing because when it's time to close games, we collapse. Look at the numbers. In 5 of those 6 losses, we had the lead or were within 1 score in the 4th quarter. That means it's not a talent issue. It's not a game plan issue. It's an execution issue. And here's the part that breaks my heart. Quinn is doing everything right. The defense has improved under his play calling. The offense looks more balanced. Halftime adjustments have been solid. But then someone fumbles. Or the kicker misses. Or someone blows an assignment in a key moment, Doc. So what more can Quinn do? Because let me tell you, there's only so much a coach can control. He can draw up the perfect plan, motivate his guys, make all the right calls. But if the players don't execute, none of it matters. And that's what we saw in Madrid. Quinn had his team in position to win. The defense got a huge pick from Marcus Mariota. We had the ball, the momentum, the chance. And then, mistakes, and more mistakes. But here's what really worries me. Quinn said he liked the energy going into the game. That means the problem isn't prep. It's not motivation. It's something deeper. It's a confidence issue. When a team loses 6 straight, they start doubting themselves. They start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And that's exactly what I saw in Madrid. A team playing scared. Scared to mess up. Scared to take risks. Scared to win. And that brings me to my biggest point. Quinn earned this city's respect last year. He took us to the NFC Championship when nobody thought we'd get there. He built a culture, developed young talent, gave us hope, Dot. So why isn't there pressure on his job? Because we all know he's not the problem. The fans know it. The front office knows it. And most importantly, the players know it. But that doesn't mean Quinn's off the hook. Because at the end of the day, the coach is responsible for finding ways to win. And right now, we're not winning. Look at the Dolphins. They were struggling too. But they found a way to win in overtime. Why? Because when it mattered most, they executed. We didn't. So here's the $1 million question. Can Quinn fix this during the bye week? I think he can. But he's got to make changes. He can't keep running the same formula expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. First, he needs to pinpoint exactly who's making the critical mistakes and hold them accountable. I don't care if they're vets. I don't care if they're captains. If you're costing the team games, you sit. Second, he needs to simplify the game plan. I know that sounds backwards, but sometimes when a team's struggling, less is more. Focus on what you know you can execute and build from there. Third, and this is the big one, he's got to find a way to restore this team's confidence. Because right now, I see a team that doesn't believe it can win. And if the players don't believe, it doesn't matter how good the coach is. Quinn talked about how much the losses hurt the players. And I believe that pain is real. But pain without action is useless. We need to turn that pain into determination, into focus, into results. Because we've got 6 games left. 6 chances to salvage something from the season. 6 chances to show the league we're better than our record says. And we can't waste those chances. I know a lot of y'all are thinking, we're 3-8, the season's over. And technically, you're right. We're not making the playoffs. But that doesn't mean these games don't matter. Every game is a chance to build culture, to evaluate talent, to build momentum for 2026. And Quinn knows that. That's why his frustration is so real. Because he sees the potential in this team. He sees what we could be if we just executed. And it's got to be devastating to watch us keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Look, I've been critical this season. I've called out the play calling, the personnel decisions, the execution. But one thing I haven't criticized is Dan Quinn's coaching. Because this man is doing everything he can with what he's got. The problem is, everything he can hasn't been enough. And that's not necessarily his fault. Sometimes you just don't have the right players. Sometimes injuries wreck you. Sometimes luck just ain't on your side. But here's the truth. Quinn needs to find answers during this bye week. Because if we come out of this break and keep making the same mistakes, then the questions about his future will be legit. I don't want that. You don't want that. And I'm sure the organization doesn't want that. So what do? We trust that Quinn's going to use this time wisely, that he'll make the right adjustments, and that this team will respond. Because at the end of the day, that's all we can do as fans. Trust, hope, support. But that trust can't be blind. We need to see results. We need to see improvement. We need to see that this team is learning from its mistakes instead of repeating them. But none of that compares to what's coming next. Because while everything around us is falling apart, there's one bright light that not enough people are talking about. Chris Rodriguez Jr. just proved he's officially our best running back, and let me tell you, it's about time. Let me ask you something. How many times have I said this kid deserves more touches? How many times have we seen flashes of his potential, only for Cliff Kingsbury to go right back to his committee approach? Well, in Madrid, we finally got the proof we needed. 15 carries, 79 yards. That's 5.3 yards per carry. You know how many running backs in the league are averaging that this season? Very few. And this kid's doing it behind an offensive line that's been absolutely decimated by injuries. But here's what really impressed me. The explosiveness. Rodriguez wasn't just falling forward for 3 or 4 yards. No, this dude was breaking tackles, hitting holes, and showing the kind of power this offense has been desperately missing. Now tell me this. Why the hell did Kingsbury stop giving him the ball? Because let me tell you something. If your running back is averaging over 5 yards a carry, you keep feeding him. That's football 101. And here's the part that drives me crazy. Rodriguez has been doing this all season when given the chance. Every time his number's called, he produces. But for some reason, we keep seeing Jake Kroski-Merritt and Jeremy McNichols getting touches when Rodriguez is clearly on another level. Look, I get the whole running back by committee thing. I get wanting to keep guys fresh. But at some point, you've got to admit you've got a workhorse and ride him. Remember when Rodriguez was a healthy scratch early in the season? I was heated. This kid had shown flashes last year. He worked his tail off in the offseason. And we had him sitting on the inactive list while backs, who clearly weren't as good, were getting snaps. But here's the beautiful part. Rodriguez didn't complain. He didn't go on social media. He didn't cause drama. He just put his head down and worked. And when Austin Eckler went down and the opportunity finally came, he took IT. And that brings me to my biggest point. We're 3-8. The season's done in terms of playoffs. So why the hell aren't we giving Rodriguez 20-plus carries a game? Why aren't we using these last 6 games to find out exactly what we've got in him? Because let me tell you something. If Rodriguez can keep producing like this, he solves one of our biggest problems for next year. We wouldn't need to spend a high draft pick on a running back. We wouldn't need to drop big money in free agency. We'd already have our guy. And let's talk about what Rodriguez brings beyond the carries. The kid can block. In Madrid, I saw him protecting the pocket, taking on linebackers, doing the dirty work that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but is crucial to offensive success. He can catch too. Only 1 target in Madrid, but he turned it into 6 yards. And if you watch his Kentucky tape, this guy can be a weapon in the passing game. So why aren't we using that more? Now, some of y'all might say it's just 1 game. And I say, nitrogen monoxide. This isn't just 1 game. This is confirmation of what fans have been saying for 2 years. Rodriguez is special. He's got the talent. He's got the work ethic. He's got everything you want in a modern running back. And here's the question that should be keeping Adam Peters up at night. What do we do with Rodriguez in 2026? Because his rookie deal is almost up. And if he keeps balling like this, other teams are going to come calling. I'm telling you right now, we need to extend him now, before his price goes up. Before other teams start sniffing around. Because if we lose Rodriguez after finally realizing what we've got, that would be a tragedy. Look at what happened with other teams that almost let productive backs walk. The Browns with Nick Chubb before they extended him. The Titans with Derrick Henry. These teams nearly made huge mistakes by waiting too long. And let's talk money again. 6th-round running backs who produce like Rodriguez are GEMS. They give you insane value against the cap. You can build a team around them because you're not dropping 15 to 20 million on the position. But here's what really excites me about Rodriguez, his mindset. This kid's been overlooked his whole life. Went to Kentucky, not exactly in sec powerhouse. Drafted in the 6th round, not the 1st. He's had to fight for every shot. And that kind of mindset is exactly what we need in this locker room right now. We need guys with something to prove. Guys who don't fold when things get tough. We need guys like Chris Rodriguez Jr. Dots. So what needs to happen after the bye? Simple. Rodriguez needs to be the clear-cut RB1. He needs 15 to 20 touches a game. We need to build the run game around him and see just how high his ceiling really is. Because if Rodriguez is our back of the future, that completely changes how we build this roster. Suddenly, we can focus our resources on the O-line, the receivers, the defense. And here's the most exciting part. Rodriguez is still getting better. Every game, I see more confidence, more patience, better vision. This kid is growing right in front of our eyes, and that's exactly what you want from a young player. Look at his development since he entered the league. Year 1, mostly special teams. Year 2, started getting more offensive snaps. And now, year 3, he's showing he can be a legit NFL starter. That progression is perfect. We didn't throw him into the fire too early. We gave time to grow. And now that he's ready, we need to ride the wave. I know a lot of y'all are frustrated with this season. I know it's hard to find positives when we're 3-8. But Chris Rodriguez Jr. is one of those positives. He's a reason to have hope. He's a piece of the puzzle for 2020-6. So Cliff Kingsbury, if you're listening, give Rodriguez the damn ball. Adam Peters, if you're listening, extend Rodriguez. Dan Quinn, if you're listening, build your offense around Rodriguez. Because when you've got a player producing like he is, you've got to commit. You can't keep treating him like just another guy in the committee. He's your guy. Accept it and build around it. And build around it. So there you have it, Commanders Nation. 3 stories that sum up exactly where we are as a franchise We've got a GM who needs to own up to a mistake with our kicker. We've got a coach doing everything right, but getting burned by poor execution. And we've got a running back who's finally proving he can be a cornerstone for our future. Now, I want to hear from you. What should Peters do with Matt Gay during the bye? Cut him now, or give him one last shot? Can Quinn fix the execution issues? And should Rodriguez be our undisputed RB1 the rest of the way? Drop your takes in the comments. I want to know what you think. Am I being too hard on Gay? Too soft on Quinn? Too hyped on Rodriguez? And if you made it this far, if you listened to this whole breakdown, then you are the kind of fan we need in this community. You're the ones who get that being a Commanders fan isn't just about celebrating wins. It's about showing up in the tough times. It's about analyzing, debating, believing Dot. So if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel is your home for deep Commanders analysis. Not just highlights. Not just hot takes. Real analysis from real fans for real fans. Smash that like button if you think Peters needs to make a move on Gay. Smash it if you think Quinn deserves more time. Smash it if you believe Rodriguez is our future. Or just smash it if you love the Commanders as much as I do Da, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. A family, a community of fans who bleed burgundy and gold, who suffer together in the losses and celebrate together in the wins. And no matter how rough it gets, we never abandon this team. We've got 6 games left this season. 6 chances to build something. 6 chances to show what we're made of. And I'll be here after every game, bringing you the deepest analysis, the realest opinions, and the most passionate takes. So subscribe. Hit that bell. Share this video with other Commanders fans. Because the bigger this community gets, the louder our voice becomes. And believe me, this organization needs to hear our voice right now. See you in the next video, where we'll break down exactly what needs to happen during this bye week to salvage something from this season. And trust me, I've got plenty to say about that. And remember, hail to the Redskins!